Hello everyone. So, I'm not gonna lie, I've got a couple of videos in the pipeline, and well, for the sake of uploading 2 a week like I always do, I'd rather those videos, get a bit better and not just cut off on a cliffhanger, because if I upload them now, it's gonna be on a cliffhanger. So, yeah, I'm basically today just gonna give a summary of what's going on here, because to be honest, for me, it's overwhelming watching in from afar, like you guys are watching. You probably think this guy has got so much to do and he's on his own, and you'd be right. I have a lot to do. Some cars have more priority than others. Obviously got customer cars coming in, and yeah, I just thought I'd basically tell the channel sort of like what's going on. We've got a lot of new subscribers recently, and there's going to be a lot more people watching this and thinking, what's this guy all about? And yeah, it's hectic. But next year is going to be, touch wood, a lot of cars here are going to be on the road. And my plan is to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my own cars on the road, or at least projects started like fully. I want to get this car done, a couple of cars over the road done. Yeah, there's a lot to do and there's a lot of stuff to film. Now, I obviously work a full-time job. Gresswells is my company. I basically do cars like this. This is a little teaser of a video that's coming out very soon. And YouTube is just sort of like me showcasing Gresswells as a whole, because I obviously showcase customers' cars, and then I also showcase my own projects. Now, this is a pure passion project, because I'd still be doing this if I wasn't doing YouTube. So it's not like I'm just doing this for YouTube. I'm literally doing it because this is the sort of stuff that I enjoy. 2023, I've had pretty much no cars on the road. Earlier on in the year, my GX61, which I'll show you, the head gasket went on that, and I was sort of in a little rut because I spent this whole year just focusing on Gresswells as a business, because, well, it's my only source of income, so I need to make it work. So sacrifice has been made. Sort of spent this year as a little bit of a proving ground, because I wanted to just showcase all the sort of cool cars I could do. I was basically just working for a cheaper rate as normal, but doing cool stuff. And luckily for me, I have done all this cool stuff, and it's allowed me to film a lot of YouTube content in the process. But before I'd started YouTube like properly, I was spending loads of money on all my cars, and I had loads of disposable income, which I don't seem to have since I've become self-employed. 2023 was a learning year, and I learned that you need more money than you actually think to continue running a business. So yeah, sacrifice has been made, but I've pretty much got on top of it now. So next year we can sort of like start throwing my own cars together and doing road trips in them. And yeah, just enjoying building cool stuff like I already have been, but for me as well. And if I didn't say before, October 2022 is when I first went self-employed. So it's been just over a year now. Still don't know what I'm doing, but here we are. Things are going okay. I don't know. All right, let's just start talking about the cars instead. Stop rambling on about me. This car here, the Barn Find Sierra, my most viewed everything content-wise car ever, is this old Sierra. Poverty spec, 1.6, 4-door Sierra A-Reg. Now, you've seen the video on this. We pulled out the barn. If you haven't, I don't know how you've watched this video, because everyone in the world's seen this apparently. Last video, we took the engine out. It's all down here in a million pieces. We managed to get the engine turning, which is great. So many people had offered to help, and the verdict on this car is that we're gonna get another just long block engine and put that in instead. And when the car finally comes up for sale, I'll obviously give them the engine. I've coated it in oil so it doesn't go rusty, but the new owner is more than welcome to put the engine into this car. But for me personally, I'd rather just put a long block in that I know is going to work and don't have to rebuild the head. Obviously the rocker cover and stuff has got a few pitted holes in it, so it's not mint. There's a lot of stuff on there that a new long block will come with and should be all right. So I actually have found a long block with a carb and stuff on it. So yeah, there's a guy that's watched the video and he contacted me, and he's in Suffolk, I want to say. So I've got to go get that at some point. So that's what's happening to that car. So if you're following for this car, because I know a lot of people will follow me for this car, that's what's happening. But this is not the only thing that I do. This car in the corner, Honda Prelude. Now, before this was my best doing video, the other best doing video was a Hillman Imp garage find, which I'll put a little screenshot here. And yeah, basically I got the Hillman Imp, and then I basically swapped the Hillman Imp for this car here. Now this car is a 2-litre Prelude 4-wheel steer. It's on hydraulics, so I'll show you that now. Yeah, so if you've been watching the channel, you already know I've already pulled all the brakes off, and we're gonna sort of like get new brakes on it. One of the calipers needs rebuilding anyway. This is the hydraulics. This setup has been in here since, I don't know, God knows how long. It's got these accumulators here. This is the pump. The wiring on it was absolutely atrocious. So I've been waiting on my friend Callum to build me a switch box, which he has done very recently. So I need to go get the switch box off him. I've got to go to an electrical shop that's near his, or sort of on the way. So I'll get a load of battery cable and connectors and stuff like that for this car. Yeah, he's built me a 6-way switch box that we can wire into the accumulators, and we can have full control of each individual corner and front and rear. So we've chopped the spindles, so we've got the front spindles and the rear spindles. We've taken 1.5 inches out of both of those, so the car will be lower once it is done. Obviously I still need to get a rear caliper. And I've got a bunch of other parts that I've actually found for this car, which were quite hard to find. If you've been watching this video, you know the bits that are missing, but I found everything for it now. And if you have been following this project, as I know a couple of people have messaged me like, oh, when are you going to carry on with the Prelude? You might be upset to hear this next bit, but I've changed the sort of direction I wanted to go with it. I started cutting the floor out. I took all the seat mounts out. Luckily I've kept them, but I've gone against cutting all the floor out now. I really, not say don't want to do it, but I just don't think it's currently worth me ripping the car, like the entire floor out, for the sake of 30 mil anymore. It's not that I don't want to do it, it's that I just want to get this car on the road. I do like the car, like Hondas are me. Honda's hydraulics is me, that is proper me, and this car will be so cool when it's done, but it's a lot of work just for 30 mil, and to be honest, I think no one's ever going to notice once it's done, but it's going to be lower anyway. I mean, the car's going to be literally like down here, so it's not like it's going to be not low, it just won't be 30 mil lower. And to be fair, I still think it's going to be like the lowest Prelude that's ever graced the planet anyway. But yeah, that's what's happening with that. This car, if you see it in the background, this is my Beetle. It's my first car. It's going to sit there for the rest of its life. It'll probably move up there, but that is about it. We don't ask more questions about it. That's done. And I know there's probably about 2 people that actually give a shit, because I don't really give a shit. But these top 2 shells, pretty much most of the stuff behind there and all the stuff underneath here, is all parts of my van. I broke a Seat Ibiza, which I'll put some clips in here now. Piece of shit. I've changed my mind and I'm putting this front grille on it. We're gonna have a little pop spec Seat Ibiza van, but that doesn't matter. No one really cares about that, but you'll see some clips about it. It should be good once it's done, but it's a piece of shit right now. Here we are. You all have seen this recently on the channel. This is my Mazda 1800 Luce. Now this car, oh, I love this car. Now I've only had it like just over a month, I want to say, but it's so cool. It's so good. I love it. The patina is fantastic. This car is a 36,000 mile car. The inside of this car looks immaculate. It's really good. It's not actually that rusty underneath as well, which is even better. And I have actually been doing some work to this car. I filmed a video. I just need to do that last 10%, and then I'll have a finished video of this car. Basically, this car here has been causing me great difficulty, but you know, we're nearly there now. Finding parts for this car is a pain. I didn't realize how much of a pain it was going to be. Early Mazda, wow, that's my first early Mazda I've ever had, and wow, there's literally nothing for them. So I've been struggling and like cross-referencing parts, and managed to buy a dizzy cap for a Mitsubishi Saparo, and then I had to buy a rotor arm, and I've made an exhaust for it now. It's all going on, but stay tuned for this one. I think I mentioned it in the video, which I don't know if I've actually uploaded or not yet. There's so many videos I've got but are not finished because I want to just finish them and then I can upload them. But I bought some wheels for this car, so that's coming from Japan. I've just taken delivery of some braided brake lines from HEL. Now that is absolutely fantastic because I can't just buy braided brake lines, and this car deserves some nice stuff on it. They look really cool. And I'm excited to get them on because once I've got some brakes on this thing, it will, well, I can drive it down the road and stuff because it will be mechanically quite decent. I've also paid for my front calipers that I've had rebuilt from Brake Caliper Solutions. I think they're in Leicester, I think. Literally took them like 48 hours to rebuild them and send them back out to me. So I'm more than impressed with that. So yeah, video will be coming out on this soon. As you know, I'm trying to get it running and driving in standard form so I can take it into London. Mike can take some pictures and it just looks really cool. And then from there, we can rip it all apart. But want to get it running and driving because I might daily it a bit in the winter. I know it will probably dissolve, but I would like to drive something quite cool. And this is a fairly complete car. Anyway, under here is my little mini Prairie. Now, I've had this car for absolutely ages, and it is quite literally a shell right now. And I've spoken about this car before on this channel, but obviously there's a bunch of new people on the channel. Yeah, this is one of my favorite cars ever. It's literally just shell right now. I wanted to build this into something ridiculous, and I knew my skill set wasn't quite up to scratch at that point. I started it, and then I got basically a little bit scared and just sort of didn't really do the project because life, and I started Gresswells and loads of stuff basically. And during that time, right, my friend Jay, who lives in Australia, low standards, he's built quite literally, well, it's not literally, but very, very similar to what I wanted to do. Now, me and him have very, very similar styles as it was. But that was like, that left me cut deep when he built that. Like, yes, I love it. I think it's absolutely amazing. And I've been tagged in his post a billion times because everyone knows that I've had this Prairie for ages and it's cool. So anytime anyone sees that post, they're like, oh, tag Josh. I just wonder if he's seen that. And I was like, yes, I've seen it a lot. And it's exactly the same as how I wanted it, but it's fine. I almost see that as a challenge now to try and better that car. I know Jay builds a lot of other cars as well, and he does a lot of things that I've been thinking about for years, which is really annoying because he's got the people around him, the knowledge, the skills, and funding basically to do the cool stuff. He's literally living my dream life. So yeah, that's a one-day build. Maybe one day if the channel keeps growing, that'll pay for that. But for now, I can wait because obviously I've got too much bloody stuff here. It's doing my head in. But yeah, I'm gonna try and one-up Jay somehow with this car. I got an idea, but I won't tell you yet. Anyway, so yeah, this is my Toyota GX61. Now, out of all the cars that I've got to do, this is probably the easiest one to put back on the road. Now, I imported this car just over 2 years ago, maybe nearly 3. No, it's like 2.5 years ago I imported this car. When I got it, it was complete standard. There's a couple of videos on my channel about this car. I built this before I started any YouTube channel, but I had a YouTube channel. I posted a couple of videos on it, but nothing to do with the build. So this car is, well, it's the only one in the UK. It's got a 25mm subframe raise. It's got 326 power coilovers from an S15. It's got air cups. It has had a twin cam 24 1G GE. This is the engine that you want in your little Japanese car. This is the one. Now, this has a bad head gasket. Earlier on in the year, I actually fixed a load of rust on the back near the boot, took it out for a couple of trips, drove around for like a month or so, and a core plug popped out. Now, that core plug plopped out. The temperature gauge didn't tell me that it was overheating. It just said it was all right until it pretty much stopped at this junction. It turned off, couldn't get it started. It was just turning over. It was so hot, it stunk, there was smoke everywhere. So it got really hot. Finally got it started. But at this point, I didn't really know it was actually dead. Got it started, like took it into the services, which was literally like 100 yards away. When I got it in there, opened the bonnet, heard it running, sounded like a banana transit. Yeah, basically, I thought I'd killed it. Now, this is obviously a Japanese market car. We didn't get them in the UK. It's a naturally aspirated 1G GE. Now, that basically means there's no aftermarket support. They're also really rare in Japan to like be for sale on their own. And I thought I killed it, but yeah, left it about 3 hours, started it up again, and it sounded mint. So that engine is rebuildable, but I've already done a head gasket once before, which isn't ideal. I have recently found out that the 1G GTE, which is basically a turbo version of that with lower compression, I think, and the head's not as good. That's got a blue top head. The 1G GTE will be a red top head, I think. I don't know, not really nerdy like that, but it's basically less compression because it's a turbo car. Yeah. So I found out that those can be converted to 1G GE, like naturally aspirated. So I can put all the inlet manifold, exhaust manifold, all of that onto that car, and then I could have a 1G GTE NA conversion, and it will work. It'll be very minorly slower, but it will be a cheaper option for me because we can get those in the UK, and importing another one of those engines from Japan is expensive. And as I said in the start of this video, this year was all about just the business, making that work. So I've basically neglected working on this car ever since. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. But yeah, I think next year this car will be on the road. I'm hoping anyway. God, if I can find a standard 1G GTE and convert it, that's going to be so good and so much cheaper. I don't mind driving this with, I don't know, 10 brake horsepower less because it is so slow. It's unbelievable. For those that haven't seen, I'm going to show you the inside because it's my favorite bit. Man, I miss this car. So good. So good. Yeah, like I said, this car is my baby. I imported it. The wood Nardi, it's got a Nardi gear knob. It's literally the coolest car ever. But yeah, I've talked about this car before. You had to go find the video on my channel, which is like over a year ago. I see if I'll link it in the description. Yeah, that's the plan. Get that running next year because it's literally ready to go apart from some tires and an engine. So yeah, that should be a pretty simple setup. So yeah, that's pretty much what's happening with, you know, my cars this year and next year. I really want next year to basically be me driving all of these cars and obviously letting my friends drive the cars as well. I see people that I sort of like look up to and think, wow, they're so cool, and they're letting everyone drive their cars and they've got loads of cool cars. And you know, I've had loads of cool cars, but my whole life, I should have started YouTube years ago, I've always built loads of random cool cars and then drove for a couple of weeks and sold them because that money goes into other cars. I'm at the point for the first time in my life where I have lots of cars which are close to being finished, and they'll all sort of be finished roughly in the same time. So I think I might just hold on to them all, and then next year have like 3 or 4 cars on the road at once. And then when people come over from other countries, which does happen, and we meet people, they can drive something cool. There's a couple of people that we've met throughout this year that said they want to come over, and it'd be cool if I could offer them something cool to drive in the meantime, which is highly possible. And then aside from that, it'd be cool to just have loads of cars on the road at the same time. Not that I can drive them all at once, but just because of the fact that I know that one day I will be able to get them all out at the same time, get a bunch of mates around, everyone get in the cars and go take some pictures. That's all it is, just having fun with your mates. So yeah, this video is a bit of me just rambling on, but there's a lot of people that watch my videos now that have no idea what's going on. So I just thought I would summarize the hectic life that I live. Yeah, and my thought process behind all this stuff, because it's very hard to see from the outside what the hell I'm actually thinking about. And what I'm thinking about is, wow, there's a lot of money in all these cars and none of them work. Anyway, I don't actually know how long this video is going to be. Did I speak about that car? Speak about this car. This is Matt's DR30 Skyline. And he just tripped over an exhaust. And again, I've started filming a video on this. We've got new coilovers on it. These are from an S13. We've made a couple of brackets. I've been chasing misfire, stiffer springs, rolling the arches, all that sort of stuff. I didn't film all of that. I basically have, like I said already, I've got a couple of videos in the pipeline. I'm going to spend tonight editing a bunch of them, get this out, and then I'm fairly ahead of the game by the end of next week. What is happening, and I'm taking delivery of, is another customer car on Saturday. The delivery I'm taking on Saturday is probably the funniest and best delivery I could have had, and I'm so stoked to do it. And obviously I will be filming it. It's gonna be like a world first sort of thing. I'm so excited to do it. It is gonna be so good. I'll obviously let that video come out in time. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll already know probably what this already is, because I have spoken about it before, but it is finally happening. And next week I will be filming me doing that. I'm so excited, it's so good. But yeah, if you've made it this far of me literally just talking about how great I am, I'm not, I'm joking. But if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. I hope you're excited for future videos, because there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff going on next year. I'm gonna push everything quite hard next year. There's a lot to do, a lot to see. I want to achieve a lot more things next year. What else can I tell you? There is hopefully a video that's coming out, like a Christmas special, and it's not going to be my usual video. We're planning it. Nothing's been filmed yet, but we're planning it. It's going to be on this car, and we're going to be sort of like filming a little mini sort of like talking documentary, VinWiki style, on that car, because that is a story that no one knows the real truth about, and we're actually going to speak about it for like the first time. And I think that'll be something that people will enjoy to listen, watch during that time. There's loads of stuff that we haven't posted online before. But yeah, if you know about that story, you know what's all happening. But that'll be hopefully a Christmas episode. Christmas special. I don't know. It's weird, I'm a YouTuber now that's doing Christmas specials. But yeah, thank you for watching. Get excited. See you later. Goodbye.